Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Flip Side of Mud. We are going to continue our video series, 50,000 Lives, a tribute to the fallen, about the Vietnam War, where we read all 58,280. I can't remember the exact number, but I know it's at least 58,000. But we're going to continue to read the names of these heroes. I'm going to show you their pictures and do a little paragraph about them all, and then thank them for their service. And I'm going to do an update like I always do. I have wrote a bunch in the last 2 days, so I'm up to 416. I think last time I did an update, I was at 320 something, I believe, but I'm on number 416 in the book of 58,000, so still got a long ways to go. And we left off on the last video, which was video 16. We left off at number 320. So this will be video 17. We're going to start at 321 and read to 340 and do another one, and I'm going to continue writing. Wasn't even going to do a video. I was going to take a couple days off and do as much writing as I can, but I figured, what the heck, I was already back here. Since I'm back up 100, I was only up 60, 40 or 60. So I've wrote at least 60 in the last 2 or 3 days this weekend, so that's not bad. So we're just going to continue on. Let me get the pictures ready. And we're going to roll right into them. Let's see, we should be on this guy right here. Make sure we're in the right spot. Do I have it? Yep, I got the right guy. I always make sure the pictures, I delete the pictures after the video I do before. So when I get this video done, I'll delete the 20 pictures. So I know exactly where I'm supposed to be at. And I have them marked here with a / mark V17, which is video 17. So I know. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and go to where I marked off V18. So you do 21 to 31 to 41. And you stop at 41. So this right here is going to be video 18. The next one. I'm going to stop at 340. So we're on video 17. That way, as soon as I start, I know exactly what number I'm on. Also, we're going to do a podcast in the future. I said we're still pretty new at doing this. We're only 17 videos in, 17 times 20 people. We're going to do a podcast of the Silver Stars, Bronze Stars, Medal Award winners, and really interesting stories that need more research. We're going to do a podcast later discussing some of those in more in-depth detail. This is just kind of a reading of remembrance. But we'll get into more of remembering them, the ones with special stories that I could find anyway. A lot of this information, it's hard to find after 50 years. 50 years, they ended in 70 something. Yeah, so it's been 50 years. Started almost 60 years ago, ended 50 years ago. All right, let's just roll right into the first one. This is 321. This is FTG. I don't remember. I know it's Navy, but I don't remember what FT meant. Oh, this is FTG3, David Michael Agazi. I think that's what that says. It's either Agazi or Agazi. I'm not sure. It's one of them two. He was born December 4th, 1947 in New York. Let's see. His home record is Astoria. If they don't put where he was born at, I just give the home record. He died September 29th, 1967. He was 19 years old in Vietnam. So FTG must have been like a freighter or something, because he was on a riverboat. So I'm assuming that's what FTG means. I'm not exactly sure. That was, pre 9/11. We didn't have those kind of things anymore. It's all ships now, but they had those riverboats back in Vietnam. He was on the PBR 54, not the rodeo. Riverboat Patrol, River Division 52, Task Force 116, was hit and killed from a sniper shooting onto the boat. There was other ones on the boat, but the sniper shot killed him while he was going down the river. He's on panel 27E, line 26 of the Vietnam War Memorial. Let's give FTG3 David Agazi a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. All right, we have another Navy one right here. Force Transition Group. That's going to be my co-podcaster. All right, now this guy. I always say if they look like a celebrity or something, I'll explain it to you. The guy that played in the movie about Facebook. You know what I'm talking about? The guy that played the main character on Facebook. Where he was in like the zombie land. I'll show you a picture and tell me if he looks just like him in the comments. This is HM3, so that's That's Corman. Yeah, hospital. Corman, HM3, John Charles Agee. Now look at his face. He looks just like the guy that was in. Look at this. He looks like the guy who was in Zombieland. You know what I'm talking about? I guess twin. He was born May 12, 1944 in Lindsay, Ohio. He died February 28, 1967. He was 22 in Quang Tri, Vietnam. Hospital Corpsman, 3rd Class. He was HQ Services Company, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines, 3rd Marine Division. He was also shot and killed by a sniper. That's crazy. Back-to-back Navy guys shot by snipers. One on a boat, one on patrol. He's on panel 15E, line 112. Let's give HM3, John Charles Agee, a moment of silence. And thank him for his service. Okay, this next one is Lance Corporal Vincent James Agus. Agius. I think that's how you say that right. Vincent James Agus. Agus. I don't know. I'm not good at pronouncing names. He was born March 29, 1946 in Beloit, Beloit, Wisconsin. I think that's how you say that. Died April 17, 1967. He was 21. In the Philippines. He was a machine gunner. I gotta take my hat off. I don't care what y'all think about my hair right now. I'm growing it out, but my head's hurting, so I can't keep doing this with the hat on. I just look like a straggling homeless person. That's what happens when you grow your hair out from bald. He was a machine gunner. He was D Company, 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, 3rd Marine Division. Was severely wounded and sent to Clark Air Force Base. He later passed away from his wounds. His father also served in World War II and was a POW in Germany camp for 2 years. A lot of family history there. He's on panel 18E, line 38 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Lance Corporal Vincent James Agus a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. I'm still in the A's, right? And since I'm writing in the 400s right now, I come upon some Hawaiian names. They are going to be fun to pronounce when I get to the 400s because there's like 10 or 12 or 15 of them that have just random letters, and I don't know. It's going to be a hoot trying to name those. I'm definitely in the Hawaiian names right now. Then I had like 3 straight Kentucky ones. Then I had like one on my born on the same day as my birthday. It was just like a weird one today. Okay, this is EM3. We got another Navy guy. This is 3 out of 4 Navies. EM3, the only reason I say that's because I was in the Navy, so give him props. Shout out, Navy. This is EM3. Manolo Browns Agnes. Now, Manolo Brownis Agnes. Now, if y'all think I'm saying it wrong, just comment on there and how it's supposed to be pronounced, because I'm doing my best. He was born January 18th, 1948 in the Philippines. He died July 4th, 1971. He was 23 in Vietnam. He died in an accident when he was struck by a South Vietnamese Navy ambulance. So he wasn't even killed out in the field. He was just walking along the town and got hit by an ambulance. Ain't that sad? Heck of a way to go. He's on panel 3W, line 99 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give EM3 Agnes a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service. The hair does look pretty ragged on it. Looks like I just woke up. All right, let's go to skip it. Oh, now remember I told you how we did this 2 videos ago, and I had the most views in the 2 videos ago. When I screenshot these pictures on my phone, there's other screenshots, there's other pictures I take of other things, and they just happen to be mixed in with them. I go right down the timeline. So anytime I come up with a funny picture that's not related, I always show it because it's really funny. And I'm not going to play the video, but I made a video for TikTok. And that's just what was next. Look at me. It was a comedy skit. But my TikTok is a #1 UK Wildcat fan. But remember 2 videos ago, we had some really funny pictures where I do the cap cuts. And I had all kinds of cool pictures of Doge and Biden and all that in there. Okay. Anyway, let's get back on track. This is Sergeant James William Agnew. He was born June 8th, 1947 in New Franklin, Missouri. Ever heard of that before? Died April 3rd, 1969. He was 21. And Bing Folk, PHVOC, is that Folk? I don't want to say a cuss word, but is that Folk? That's what it sounds like. I got some weird names in Vietnamese names. He was with A Company, 5th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division. Died from artillery fires. One thing I could find out. He's on panel 27W, line 4 of the War Memorial. And once again, I always put this in every video. If you haven't been to the War Memorial in Washington, D.C., you got to go, and you got to go to Arlington. But Arlington's going to be a separate video down the road. But if you're standing there looking at the Lincoln Memorial, everybody goes to Washington, goes to the Lincoln. You got the Washington Monument behind you, and then you go through the Hall of Heroes, I think it was called, something like that. You pass all the heroes, and then you do the reflecting pool, and you get to Lincoln. When you're standing at the steps looking up at Lincoln, if you go to your right, there's a pathway. It's only like a couple hundred yards. It takes you right to the Vietnam Wall. You guys got to go see it. It's pretty cool. If you're there, you might as well walk right over and look at it. All right, let's go on to the next guy. This is Lance Corporal Joseph John Agri, A-G-R-I, Jr. Agree? Joseph John Agree, Jr. I think it's Agree. I'm probably botching most of these. He was born July 14th, 1950 in South Boston, Massachusetts. Which I used to say that wrong all the time, and I had a friend from Boston, and she corrected me. I would always call it Massachusetts. Massachusetts. I used to even know how to spell it. He died April 19th, 1969. He was 18 in Quang Nam, Vietnam. He was with E Company, 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division. He died from an accidental self-inflicted wound. No further info. I wouldn't look into it anyway. If any of them come across any of where they do it themselves, I don't go any further than that. But out of respect for them, so any stories like that, it says accidental, so he could have been cleaning a gun or something. But anytime it shows where they took their own life, I don't look into that. I leave it where it's at. That's not my business, if that makes any sense. So everybody struggles through something. He's on panel 26W, line 5. If I didn't, I'm going to do it now because I might have forgot. Let's give Sergeant James Agnew and Lance Corporal John Agri a moment of silence. We thank them for their services. If I forget, I go back. Even if I did do it, I always get it a second time because I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, this is Private First Class Salvatore Agri Jr. Agri. Salvatore, not Salvatore. Salvatore Agri Jr. Born April 21st, 1949 in Massachusetts. Home of record is Chelsea. Died April 9th, 1968. He was 18 in Binh Dinh, Vietnam. He was with C Company, 6th Battalion, 84th Artillery, 41st Artillery Group. All I got was he died from hostile mortar fire. Only info on there. He's on panel 48E, line 56 of the War Memorial. You guys want to check him out. Also, you can get on this website. I'm on Wall of Heroes, I think it's called, where I get all these information from a lot of these guys. And you can request having a drawing, where they put the piece of paper up and take a pencil piece of paper, and go across it, and they subscribe their name onto the paper. I don't know if it costs anything, maybe it's a couple bucks, but you can have somebody do that from the website. Pretty neat. If you don't want to go do it yourself. But if you got any family members, do it yourself. I'm going to play the volume of this one. I made another video for TikTok. But I have to play the volume of this one, and you'll see why. I was doing one of them stupid little games that they do on there, where you scream at the phone and you make the chicken jump. All right, watch. I was looking at the price of the carton of eggs, see how high I could get it. I got the carton of eggs up to $13.95. Anyway, like I said, there were some random videos in there. It's kind of funny. Okay, this one is, and I'm trying to lighten the mood. I know this is like an obituary, and I'm just reading off dead folks, and I know we're giving them respect and honor, but I feel like it's down too low sometimes. So I want to add a little bit of humor in it to make it not sound so dreary. This is First Lieutenant Robert Charles Agudo. Agudo, I think. Robert Charles Agudo, born November 21st, 1941. Chicago, Illinois. Also, when I did the video yesterday, I went 10 minutes into it and I actually hit the space bar and paused it. And I was still talking, didn't realize it was paused, so I had to go back and delete it and start over again. So I did 10 minutes of humor and everything, and I was like, you dummy. So actually, don't hit the space bar. It will pause your video. Okay, Chicago, Illinois. Died January 19th, 1967. He was 25 in Long An, Vietnam. He was with A Company, 4th Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, 9th Infantry Division. He died from multiple frag wounds in Operation Concordia. The only thing I would say. If there are any, if they're like secret, stuff, they won't tell you anything. So at least they give us the name. He's on panel 22E, line 9 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give First Lieutenant Robert Charles Agudo a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service. I try to make them all about 5 seconds, just kind of. I might go a little long or a little short, but I try to keep it about the same. If you watch TV, they'll be doing a moment of silence for some celebrity or something to die, and then it's like a second. You're like, what? That wasn't a moment of silence. Okay, this is SP for Oscar Agallo Jr. I think I'm saying that right. He was born March 15, 1948 in Phoenix, Arizona. Died December 15, 1967. He was 19 in Tay Ninh, Vietnam. He was with the TB Battalion. I don't know what that is. 3rd Squadron, 17th Cavalry. He was a UH-1, I think that's a Huey, helicopter repairer. On a combat mission, his helicopter was shot down. The only thing I could get out of that information. He's on panel 31E, line 96. Let's give SP4 Oscar Agallo Jr. a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. My glasses don't feel so off when I'm not wearing a hat. Oh, this guy looks fierce in this picture. This is Private First Class Matthew John Aguilaro. Looks like a mugshot. He was born January, I always get him wrong, June 27, 1947 in West Hempstead, New York. Died December 25th on Christmas. In 1967, he was 20. In Bien Dinh Dien, Vietnam. He was with D Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division. Wounded on the 23rd and died on the 25th from multiple frag wounds. He was the only on his 20th day in Vietnam. Wow. 20 years old, and he was on his 20th. He wasn't even there 3 weeks. He's on panel 32E, line 56. Let's give PFC Matthew Aguilaro a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service. Okay, this is PFC Juan Daniel Aguilar. Born October 2nd, 1947 in Mexico. His home records in California. He died March 14, 1968. He was 20 in Vien Long, Vietnam. He's a D Company, 3rd Battalion, 60th Infantry, 9th Infantry Division. Died from multiple frag wounds to the body from an explosive device. Terrible. He's on panel 44E, line 43 of the Wall Memorial. I wrote one earlier today. It was the very first one. It was the same. It was like 44 and 44. He's 44 and 43, so he has to be right next to that guy. Well, it could be east and west. This says 44 east, line 43. The other one could be line 44 west, but it was 44-44. I don't know why that stands out. Let's give PFC Aguilar a moment of silence. And we thank him for his service. This guy looks like the guy on Everybody Loves Raymond, the big tall brother, the cop, right? Raymond's brother. In a way. This is SP4 Adolfo Aguilar. Tell me he doesn't look like the guy. A little bit. Born December 15th, 1946 in San Antonio, Texas. Died March 14th, 1968, the same day as the guy before him. He was 21 in Vietnam. So the guy before him, Juan Aguilar, died March 14th. He died March 14th. Same day. Died from small arms fire. He was the 25th Infantry Division. It could have been the same battle. I don't know. But they were back to back. They're crazy. He's on panel 44E, line 46. See, it's because it's A through Z. That makes sense. See, he's 44E, line 46. The other one's 43. That makes sense of why their names are so close. Okay, I'm getting it now. Let's give PFC. Did I read the wrong one? Oh, he's on panel 44. Yeah, line 46. Let's give SP4 Adolfo Aguilar a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. All right, this is Private First Class Armando Aguilar. Born May 18th, 1945 in El Paso, Texas. Died February 9th, 1967. He was 21 in Vietnam. He was with A Company, 2nd Battalion, 5th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division. Died from small arms fire. 50% of all names on here just say small arms fire, just so y'all know. It's hard to get any information out of some of them. It's been 50-something years. He's on panel 15E, line 11 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give PFC Armando Aguilar a moment of silence. Thank him for his service. Okay, this is Private Arnold Aguilar. Got a long ways to go to get to the Z's, guys. He was born July 10th, 1945 in Austin, Texas. Died April 21st, 1968. He was 22 in Quang Nam, Vietnam. 2nd Platoon, K Company, 3rd Battalion, 27th Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division. Died when he tripped a booby-trap shell. He's on panel 51E, line 15 of the Wall Memorial. It's tough. Let's give Private Arnold Aguilar a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. This is LTC Domingo Ignacio Aguilar. Oh, I think I nailed that. Domingo Ignacio Aguilar. I think I nailed it. Born May 31st, same birthday as my brother, 1928, in Ithaca, New York. Died December 8, 1967. He was 39 in Quang Tum, Vietnam. He was with HH 299th Engineering Battalion, 937th Engineering Group, 18th Engineering Brigade. He was departing on a OH-23G when he was struck by a rotor blade. Wow. He served in Korea and Vietnam. I'm going to put a star by that one because that's a special story I need to look into. He was walking off of a helicopter and got struck by the rotor blade. How does that happen? I thought I know you got to bend down, but you must have been a really tall guy because usually you can stand under them. I don't know. It's crazy. I got 3 of them in a row with stars. Oh, what's this? This picture I saved here. This shows you the regular season and postseason of each sport, and it said which sport is the best. So it shows you when their regular season ends and begins, and when their postseason ends and begins. Like NASCAR and MLS are the longest, and of course NCAA football and basketball are the shortest. Well, NFL is pretty short too, but WNBA is even shorter. And then there's a video of me cleaning out the storage unit. We can skip those. And on to the next one. Okay, this is SP4 James Daniel Aguilar. He was born July 1st, 1950, ? So I don't know where it says. His home record is Central Heights, Arizona. Died May 20th, 1971. He was 20 in Vietnam. He's with E Company, 1st Battalion, 2nd Cavalry. Oh, this one was a bad one. Okay, yeah. This is the first one I've had like this out of all 336 so far. 10 to 15% of lower ranked enlisted men were heroin users. So out of every 100, 15 were using heroin under, like, not officers, enlisted men. 1/4 of all enlisted, that's 25%, or 60,000 men were hooked. That includes officers. So it cost $100 a day in the United States to support your heroin habit. But in Vietnam, it was only $5 a day. 95%, that's way less to support your habit. So $100 a day in America, $5 a day in Vietnam. No wonder they was all on it. He was asleep and could not be awoken. It was reported that he wasn't breathing. He was taken to the hospital, being DOA, which is down on arrival. His death was determined to be acute pulmonary edema, secondary to active narcoticism. Died from heroin overdose. He's on panel 3W, line 42 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP4 Aguilar a moment of silence. Thank him for his service. I know I'm sure there's a lot of them on here was using it. That's of course what it says, but I had the first one I had died from it on here. This is Sergeant Mike John Aguilar. Go on, camera. Born June 24th, 1946, question mark. Home record, Compton, California. Died May 10th, 1972. He was 25 in Vietnam. A Company, 1st Battalion, 12th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division. Silver Star recipient. Good. That's cool. That's just under Medal of Honor and just over Bronze Star. So it goes Bronze Star, Silver Star, Medal of Honor. He was a machine gunner on an armored vehicle. He was on a recon mission when his troops were advancing. They encountered a large Vietnam force. He began placing heavy fire on the enemy. Dismounting his track, he assaulted the enemy bunker, destroying them with a grenade. Then he took out an enemy soldier with his M16. Exposing himself to enemy fire, he charged another bunker, destroying it. Was also awarded a Bronze Star. Read photos for death. Okay. Well, it's a good story. Here we go. I like these long stories. Okay, on May 10th, 1972, at 10:23 hours, pilot, blah, 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 crew members, was in the crew member? I don't know which one. Let me make sure I get the right guy here. We're on Aguilar. Let's see, pilot, Harold Tomlin, Ellensburg, Terry, Ness, Larry Mustin were aboard. Okay, they were all aboard en route to Ben Ho and Vung Tai. United 157 was part of a flight of 4 Chinooks that picked up infantry troops from the 3rd Brigade, 1st Cavalry, at the Sandy Pad and Bean Ho Army Base. The troops were being taken to Vung Ta for a 3-day in-country R&R, rest and relaxation. They had called for a clearance through the Long Thigh North Army Airfield Traffic Control Area were at 2,000 heading. So he didn't die in that where he got the stars early. He didn't die in that. He died in this. At 2,000 heading from north to south. 157 near Long Thigh North Army Airfield. Other Chinooks in the flight described 157 as exploding like a light bulb flash. Since there had been an increase in NVA activity at An-Loc, the aircraft was thought to have been shot down by 23mm anti-aircraft gun or an SA-7 surface-to-air SA-7 missile. The remaining CH-47 sped from the area at 10:25, which is 2 minutes after. Long Thao Tower received a radio call from aircraft in the vicinity that the CH-47 had crashed to the northeast of the airfield and exploded on impact. Aircraft near the scene reported that they could see no survivors at the crash site. Rescue efforts began immediately upon receipt of the report of the accident. It was learned later that United 157 had a material failure of a blade retaining pin. The 5 crewmen and all 29 soldiers on board were lost in the crash, so they didn't get shot down. 5 crewmen and all 29 soldiers on board were lost in the crash. The crew members of 157 were from the 362nd Aviation Company. The 29 soldiers included 21 who were members of Skull Platoon, including 3 from CP, the skipper, and both the company battalions, RTOs. Another 7 soldiers from A Company, 12th Cavalry, and 1 trooper was in the 11th A Armed Cavalry Regiment. The names, it gives you the names of the passengers. It gives all their names, but John Aguilar was one of them killed. Whew. Crazy story. I like the long stories. I mean, I don't want to write. I don't mind writing, but that's too long to write, so I like to read them. I can read them better than my handwriting. Okay, we only got 3 more to read. This is Corporal Nick Alfred Aguilar Jr. Born October 6, 1948 in Houston, Texas. Died April 9, 1970. He was 21 in Vietnam. C Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Infantry, 25th Infantry Division. Died from multiple frag wounds from an explosive device. I don't have a star next to that. I don't know. Panel 12W, line 110. Sorry. John Aguilar's was before him was on panel 1W, line 15. I forgot to read them, so let's go ahead and give them both moments of silence. Sergeant Aguilar and Corporal Aguilar Jr. We thank them both for their service. My apologies for skipping. This is the SP4 Oscar Aguilar. Born April 5th, 1951, ? So, home records, Fairfield, California. Died May 10th, 1972. He was 21 in Dong Nai, Vietnam. Read photos. Oh, here we go again. Another good long story. On May 10th, 1927. Wait a second, is that the same story? No kidding. I screenshotted that twice. So let me see if they both were on the same helicopter. They both had the name Aguilar. So this one is Oscar Aguilar, and the other one was John Aguilar. I'm going to go back to John's and see if I can see two Aguilars on here. Just bear with me. I'm not going to read all their names because I'm going to end up reading their names later anyway. Okay, here's SP4 Aguilar. Yeah, SP4. I just read him. Just saying SP4 Oscar Aguilar. That's my spot. And Sergeant Mike Aguilar. Both of them was on. I screenshotted the photos twice. Does that make sense? It's the same story, so I don't have to read it again. They all died in that same helicopter. That's crazy. He's on panel 1W, line 15 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give SP4 Oscar Aguilar a moment of silence. Thank him for his service. I can't believe two of them back to back. Well, it wasn't back to back, but it was one in between stories from that died from the same place, the same helicopter, the same airplane, whatever they was on, and they had the same last name. Okay, this is the last one we're going to do tonight. This is Private First Class Pedro Ramirez Aguilar. He was born January 2nd, 1949 in Morenci, Arizona. Died December 1st, 1967. He was 18 in Hai Phong, Vietnam. He was a HQ Company 11th Engineer Battalion, 3rd Marine Division. His Jeep struck a mine on Route 566, died from the explosion. Terrible way to go. He's on panel 31E, line 21 of the Wall Memorial. Let's give Private First Class Aguilar a moment of silence. We thank him for his service. Okay, guys, if you liked listen to me read these awesome stories, I mean, some of them are terrible, but there's a lot of honor and courage in a lot of these stories, but they all deserve to be read. They're all heroes in my book, no matter what happened. They went over there and fought for the country. Even the ones that took their own lives. I mean, you don't know what they're going through. So if you like this, subscribe and hit the like button, all that stuff everybody says, and you can get notified when the next ones come up. If you have a family member that died in Vietnam and they have a different last name than A, just wait. I will get to them. You guys can follow them. They're going to be in different categories of the last name. So right now, all these videos are going to be put in the same video category A all the way to Z. This is video 18. This is video 17. We have like 5,000, 6,000 videos to go. But anyway, I'm going to get back to writing more names here, and I'll come back and do another video in a day or two. I appreciate y'all, and have a great